Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel once again. This is Brian Reaction. So in today's video, away from sport now, the Prime Minister of Jamaica is calling upon all Jamaicans overseas to come back to Jamaica and increase birth rates. So according to him, he claims that the birth rates has reduced and he's calling upon all Jamaicans abroad to come back and assist in increasing birth rates. Now, we all know a lot of Jamaicans, many Jamaicans are staying abroad. So a big number of Jamaicans are staying away from Jamaica. And that's why the PM is calling upon them to come back and increase birth rates. Now, Jamaicans abroad had to reply on the same. So I want you to watch their reactions towards this, and I'll be back with a few reactions.
Minister Andrew Holness is calling on Jamaicans living abroad to return to the island to help increase Jamaica's birth rate. And my simple answer to that outlandish request is,
fuck no.
I don't speak for everybody, but I know I speak for some. And granted, nowhere in this world is perfect. But what incentives, what benefits are there for us as well as the residents in Jamaica to create life in Jamaica? There are none. The cons outweigh the pros. It's simple maths. You're asking the wrong questions. How about you ask, why aren't Jamaican residents procreating? And I know you already know the answer, but I'll reiterate it for you. The people them nah make no money if they take care of themselves, much less them family. It's simple maths. And asking us that live abroad, that have become accustomed to certain luxuries when it comes to the healthcare, the banking system, the infrastructure, to return to Jamaica to help increase the birth rate, that is foolishness. That is foolishness. Address the issues in the country and see if that birth rate doesn't increase. Many of us living abroad, we don't want to be here. We do not want to be here. We would much rather be in Jamaica. But most of us are not willing to say, let us pack up our things and return to Jamaica because Andrew Holness needs us to increase the birth rate. It is not going to happen. It is not going to happen. My biggest fear when I come to go to Jamaica on vacation is to not get sick or end up in the hospital. Because due to how horrific those hospitals are, I would probably die the moment I step foot in one. Because that is not what I'm used to here. That is not what I'm used to here. And the fact of the matter is, nothing is being done about it. Nothing is being done about it. Fix the issues in the country, Andrew. Put in some work. And I guarantee a lot of us would happily migrate back to Jamaica. But asking us to return to Jamaica to help increase...
And I quote, "It is not your birth that makes you Jamaican. It is the choices you make for your country." End of quote. Mr. Andrew Holness, you were the one who publicly made that statement during the election. Not me, not the people in my foreign. You. No, Mr. Holness, respectfully, you tell me, how will the choice of coming home to have more children make me and any other foreigner any more Jamaican? You tell me. But you know what the real problem is? You realize that the Gen Z babies aren't stupid. They're not dumb. Them not sit down and breed up. They're more focused on creating businesses. They're more focused on being educated. And you not like that. You not like that because low-key, you love when them run to Auntie Dana with the 5, 6, 7, 8 pitney and I beg for help. I beg for buy pampers. I beg for buy feed. Now, Mr. Andrew Holness, with that being said, what are you going to put in place to facilitate this kind of demand? Come on, Andrew. Let's be a little more pragmatic. Because you and I know that a rapid population growth in a third world country is a call for destruction. Now tell me, can I still wait for hear why your plan for facilitate all of this, Can you imagine? Encouraging your people for have large families in a poor goddamn country. Don't you think that would put a strain on the economical development of the country? Not being able to properly educate these children, not being able to provide a proper health care for these children. You know how many Jamaicans in foreign right now have 2-3 pitney at Jamaica with them a buffalo work 2-3 jobs I try to take care of? Still can't even find the money for do them green card for file for them pitney at Jamaica. And you're encouraging us to come home and contribute to that. And what will you be doing to provide a better life for those children? Nothing but sit down by your high ass uptown. I get richer and richer. Crazy. This are the only time people are gonna ever see me on TikTok or crash out. Come in and run pitney joke. You know how upsetting it is when people look at me and talk about one pitney and a pitney. Ain't nobody got time for that. People are trying to create generational wealth out here. We ain't got time to be having 4 or 5 kids trying to figure out how them are gonna eat. Do better. You have to do better. Or you can start with yourself. Ask your wife for go have a couple more. Why you never encourage the rich people them for go adopt some pitney? You know, more pitney up a country right now. We're not even have a close on them back. We never encourage them to go adapt them and take them out of them situations they and better them life. But come tell people both for come home, come breed. Upsetting.
So the government of Jamaica is urging Jamaicans that are abroad to come back to Jamaica to help with the birth rate, because apparently the birth rate is extremely low, but also literacy rate is also low. Everybody illiterate. The penny them can't read. The penny them can't read because the parents can't read. Bread is $700. We cannot afford to rent. We cannot afford to buy a house. You're paying NHT, but you're not get picked for the house. You're just not gonna get picked. It is what it is, right? The quality jobs. He says jobs are, and I'm saying he, but it's the government. The whole of them. They're saying jobs are here, but the quality of jobs. What jobs? Where? Hello. You have a lot of people right now who are unemployed and have been unemployed since and before Hurricane Melissa. I feel like wanting the birth rate to increase should not be a concern of yours right now. Shouldn't be a concern, especially because there is nothing in place. All right, so you're telling people abroad that they need to come back here to help with the birth rate. What am I come back to? You're asking them to leave their first world country, whichever first world country you are in, is asking you to leave it and come back here. Let me just also say, I did not listen to the recording of wherever he was or whatever speech he was giving. I did not listen to the recording, so I do not know the contents of the recording. I am only going off I'm only going off the caption on the photo, right? Regardless, I mean, I've seen clips and videos and whatever from the health minister and him urging us to have more children. And again, I ask and put them where? Because even if you're living with your family, what if you do have 10, 15 picnic academy by your family? You can't, there are no quality jobs, so it's not like you can work and take care of them. And then in the event that you become a single parent, it's just you cannot work or do not have a great job, and you still have to send these children to school and take care of them. There is no incentive for people to have children. So why would they have children? Adults can't read, and if adults can't read, it means children can't read. When is the government going to come up with a program, something, an intervention for the adults themselves who cannot read? And okay, maybe you can go and get a skill. But if you're not able to read and read fluently, how are you going to master that skill? How can you master a skill if you cannot read? But he wants you to have children. So people who've decided that who saw an opportunity to leave Jamaica for a better life, got the opportunity. They left. They're living their better life, or they're struggling, or they're trying to make ends meet regardless. They're in a first world country, so opportunities are not the same as here, right? They're over there and they're working and stuff like that. So them feel give up. Left the whatever them have over there. Come out here, come bata bata. You have not increased jobs and its quality. The job them no better. They're no better than they were 5 years ago. They're still the same. Look on the condition of the road. Look on the condition of the hospital. The hospital them. Hospitals don't have wheelchair. Hospitals don't have beds. When the people them sick, where them go? I feel like there's so many things that we can sort out before we get here. I'm so annoyed by this because I feel like there's so many things to address before we get here. What are you doing for the Jamaicans who are already here and don't have out them lot? What are you doing for them? There are children who are not in schools right now. There are children who from the pandemic not go back to school and still can't read. What are you doing? Why do you want us to have more children when there is nothing in place? There's nothing right now that is benefiting us. All of the smart young people them we go college and ready to take over politics and cannot take it over because the old people them sit down in a politics same way. So even if them want to go into politics and get a proper job in the government in order to take care of their children, let's talk about the schools. Let's talk about schools. And the condition of the school them. And the teacher they not get enough pay. Make we talk about that. Let's talk about the boy pitney them. Because the literacy rate for the boys, they under with foot bottom. Let's talk about that. Let's see if we can sort that out. How about come up with some type of I don't know, childcare program for those who have children? Like a government childcare program at these jobs. Yeah? Don't just urge private sector to implement this. Why don't you say it's mandatory? Whether you're private or not, you need to have a blah 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 to help people with their children. I feel like having and we see it in the movies all the time, and we see it in other developed countries where you're at work and there is like a floor in your building that so you can leave your child. What about that? How about extending paternity and maternity leave? Specifically maternity leave. How about extending that? Because it's 3 months, your company pays for 2 and you just not get paid for the 3rd. Unless maybe you're in a government business. If you're working for a government business, I think it's 3 months and they pay for the 3 months. How about extending maternity leave? There's so many things. How about paying the nurses and stuff like that so they don't have to leave and go have children abroad? Nurses and doctors and stuff like that. How about paying them? Because I guess if you pay them and they have a livable wage and can afford house and healthcare in their life and everything and just afford bread that is $700, I feel like they would have more children. How about that? How about that? Again, before you urge Jamaicans abroad and Jamaicans living here to have more children, there are many things that you need to sort out before people can decide to have children. I should have my child, and when they are hungry and only can afford mackerel and rice, can I call your office and ask them for money for food? In other countries, every month the government give the people them money for them picnic. What you do for we? It's just a question. It's just a small question. Also, skin bleaching. What are you guys doing to address that? Because I see children passing here every day and them skin whiter than white. What are we doing about that? The gun, the violence. What are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah, when are you going to start to tax the church? Because churches should pay tax. Because I feel like those taxes could help us greatly as a nation. Again, there's so many things that I feel like the government can address before they urge Jamaicans to have more children. because we don't have nowhere to put them. We don't have anywhere to put them. The job's not paying enough for us to take care of them. There is no point we have children, bring them here, and we cannot that don't make no sense. It doesn't sound sensible to me. It's like you're buying a BMW and you work at a gift shop. How are you going to afford to maintain the BMW? That don't make no sense. That just don't make no sense. You're not gonna be able to afford it. You're going to have to do things, live above your means, and do all of that in order to maintain the BMW. So it don't make no sense. You have adults right now who need sex education. You have adults right now who don't believe in even using a condom. There's so many things that we can address. The nation is dumb. You need to make the nation smarter before you can ask us to have more children. Be so for real. And not only that too, he only has two. The Prime Minister only has two children, and there's so many other government people who only have two and they're not past three. They've had their two and they've had their one, and that's it. You have one and two, we have passed that, but okay. And them rich and they're not having plenty. They're just not having plenty. We don't need to have no more. We have enough children in the country. Let's fix those. The children in the homes and stuff like that. Come on, man. Come on, man.
And in other news, Wholeness urges diaspora to return home to address Jamaica's birth rate. Yo, this birth rate thing look like some serious something, you know. You know what I foresee happening? I foresee the budget being read, like not this budget, but maybe next year budget being read, and goodies are in there for persons who are willing to get up and go and have a child. Like, for example, if you go and have a child, you will get $1 million, or something of that sort. Free health care for a certain amount of time or something. I feel like said there's going to be a package for persons who are willing to get up and go and have children. The more children you have, the better. Yeah. But things sometimes change though, like them something away you literally used to watch TV and say, you know, and hear about really. You know really see them happening in front of you. You just hear about them in a different countries. You know? But see it happen right now. You remember when we couldn't touch each other? Yo, as the people who were born in the the 19 maybe 70s to 90s and all of those stuff, we are amazed. Like a TV we used to watch them thing upon. But we've experienced so much throughout our limited life. Like, we don't reach now yet, you know. I mean, me used to look upon 30 years old as being old and all of them something, but me at 30. You see it? And it just feel pretty okay. But then, when you look upon what I've experienced, like, my children are going to have to sit and listen the exaggeration of all of these stories. When we start talking about COVID, you still can't say I wonder if you still can say that pan the internet. You still can say the C word, the big C. You know, remember when we'd have to, like switch it up and say pandemic and the big C and all of them something there? You still can't say it? I don't know. When my children them ready to hear all of them stories about the big C and the pandemic and how you did have to stay 10 feet apart, right? The earthquake or Jamaica, remember that the earthquake there? I was probably there up at Sovereign and I just see the car them just jump up so. You remember that? The hurricane went up one day, yeah? And now the foreigner them are get called. It's almost like you say, all right, it look like say the people them were in charge, them can't do the thing. So I'm just go recruit the one them with the overseas now. So the one them with the overseas now I get recruited and them supposed to stand at attention and say, sir, yes, sir, and just march. and go address the birth rate in Jamaica. This is just ridiculous, bro. Like, Jano.
So welcome back. I hope you guys have watched that full clip. So it seems Jamaicans overseas, Jamaicans abroad are not convinced by this. They are not convinced at all. So the PM wants, to contain the declining, birth rates in Jamaica. So that's why he's calling upon Jamaicans overseas, to come back home and help increase birth rates. So Jamaicans abroad are not convinced by this. Now, they are claiming that the situation of Jamaica is the reason why most of them left. The situation that is in Jamaica, the situation that he himself has put Jamaicans on, is the reason why most of them are not in Jamaica and are not ready to come back to Jamaica at any time. So this idea of him, wanting to increase birth rates, calling upon Jamaicans abroad to come back, Jamaicans abroad are not ready to do that. Now, there are some things that he must do at least for them to be convinced so that they can come back home and do what he demands. And you have heard some of them in those videos. They are saying that he need to address the issues in Jamaica. Like there are so many things in Jamaica that the PM must really take care of. Really take care of, because we all know why many of them left Jamaica. And one of the biggest and major reasons as to why many of Jamaicans are not in Jamaica is that they have gone, to search for greener pastures. That is one thing that has made most of them, leave Jamaica, search for greener pastures, good jobs, better life, because many people have been complaining that in Jamaica things are not really going on well. The PM has forgotten about the rise of the people, and right now the situation of Jamaica is not for the poor. So that's why many of the Jamaicans are living abroad. They have left Jamaica and are not ready to come back at any time. So Andrew Holness has a lot to do. If he wants Jamaicans to come back to Jamaica and increase birth rates, yes, Jamaicans are ready. You've heard the story of that guy. They are not happy living abroad. They are not happy, they left the beautiful Jamaica and they went to settle in these foreign countries. They are not happy there. They want to come to Jamaica. They want to live in Jamaica. They want to do their things in Jamaica at home. They want to stay at home. But because of the situation, they are forced, to stay in these foreign lands and they are not ready to come back to Jamaica. You have heard the story of that guy has talked about the health system in Jamaica. And by the way, he's claiming that he is not ready to die in these hospitals because the health system in Jamaica is worst. And he is claiming that there's no way you can come in Jamaica and bring up a child with this type of health system. He is not ready to die in these hospitals. So it is clear that the PM really has to do a lot so that the people abroad can listen to him and come back to Jamaica and do what he commands. So I think one of the best things that he must do in Jamaica is fix all the problems that Jamaicans are facing. Because why is it that Jamaicans at home are not ready to, to give birth? They are not ready to increase because the situation is making them not to even consider doing that. The situation is just making them to just want to leave Jamaica, go abroad and try, search for greener pastures. That is what is happening with the people. So if the PM can fix these situations in Jamaica, if he can make sure that, people are happy, creating jobs for people, the health system making sure that everything is going on properly, maybe maybe the people abroad can adhere to his call. But as per now, they are not ready to come back and they are not coming back. They cannot come back to what is happening in Jamaica, and they have said it very clearly. They will not come back unless the PM fixes this country completely. Maybe they can consider coming back to Jamaica. So I don't know what you guys have to say about this video. People abroad declining to come back to this calling of the Prime Minister calling upon them to come back and increase birth rates, but most of them, it seems, they are not ready to come back, and they have given their reasons. Their reasons is that if the PM can fix the country, if the PM can take care of all the problems in Jamaica, maybe they can consider even coming back to stay for good. They won't go back to this foreign land, so they will just come back in Jamaica, stay in Jamaica forever if he can fix all the issues in Jamaica. But they're not ready to come back to these Jamaican problems. They are living happily where they are. They are earning good money. Life is just interesting where they are. So they cannot leave that and come back to this struggling Jamaica. They are not ready to do that. So if the PM can fix all these problems in Jamaica, maybe they will consider, coming back home and doing what he demands. So I don't know what you guys have to say about all this, because if the PM has come out to try and send a message to people abroad to come back, because it seems the birth rates in Jamaicans are declining and he wants them up. So I don't know what you guys have to say about this situation and how the people abroad have answered to his call. So in the comment section you can tell me your views. So thank you for watching this video. Until my next clip, one love.